I had so much fun yesterday sharing just the answer to the question, how did I know my husband was the one? So I wanted to come back today and just share 7 things you can do to prepare yourself for marriage. I have a little checklist here. Okay, so I want to share because a lot of times people say that they're ready for marriage, they want a husband or want a wife, but there are key things that they haven't done to prepare themselves, their mind, their spirit, and even their lives for marriage. Remember, marriage isn't a walk in the park. So you have to cultivate the land of your life so that what grows there is fruitfulness in the marriage, love, and all the attributes that 1 Corinthians 13 talks about. So let's talk about the first thing, praying. And like I said in the video on how I knew my husband was the one, it's because I prayed. I prayed and I sought God. So as you seek God, He will continue and begin to just make things clearer to you in regards to who He's preparing you for. And even if you have a specific person in mind, through prayer, God will give you a yay or a nay so that you're not wasting time. But don't stop there with the prayer. What you want to do is pray for the person that you believe and know that God is sending into your life, because it's the person may be a mystery to you, but the person is definitely not a mystery to God. So as you begin to send up prayers for your husband, the one God is sending you, protect him today, keep him safe as he goes out to work. And men who are seeking to marry you too, Lord, the wife you are sending to me, just bless her today, just strengthen her today. You cover them in prayer even before they come into your life. Don't wait until you walk down the aisle and get a ring, but as you're in the preparation process, just begin to commune with God on a regular basis for the spouse that you desire to come to you. Okay? Number 2, the second thing is breaking soul ties. And a lot of people skip over this because they believe that, to break a soul tie, all you have to do is stop communicating with the person or delete their phone number from your cell phone, but that's not it. You have to break those ties, those emotional connections that a lot of time keep pulling people back to former relationships they were in, because you've created these habits, you've created these soul ties in the spirit realm. And in addition to breaking those ties, part of the process to doing that is getting rid of stuff. You don't need the love letter that you got when you were 16 years old from this boy that you had a crush on. All those little momentums can become idols in your mind and on your heart. So you need to remove all of that so that the person who God is sending into your life isn't battling for space in your mind and in your heart, or feeling like they're runner up because you couldn't get the one who you really wanted to be with. So definitely break those soul ties, okay? Number 3, I would say stop giving counterfeits access. So many times we don't want to be alone that we would give a counterfeit, someone who we know for a fact is not the real thing, not sent by God. We give them access to our lives because we feel like it prevents us from being lonely or feeling alone. But you don't need a place warmer. You just need to believe God for what is yours so you don't create additional soul ties by, just constantly interacting with someone who you know is not the one for you. Okay? Stop giving them access. Create boundaries that they're not allowed to cross. And pretty much, God needs to be in charge of that. If God says no coffee, no dinner, it's not just about sex, it's about your time too, because your time is valuable. So if God says no coffee, no movies, no walking through a county fair, then no. Sometimes we need to be alone, separated, and secluded, and just be in the presence of God until we're built up enough so that we're even wife material, or that we're even husband material. And like I shared in the other video, my husband and I have known each other for a long, 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 long time. And like I said, I was a mess back then. I'm not afraid to say I was a mess. God cleaned me up, and he's still cleaning me up. But even in that time when I was a mess, when my husband knew me, he stood on the corner just smiling at me when we were introduced. And he said that even on the corner, when I had my attitude and my chip on my shoulder, that he saw wife material. And that's key, because that's what God allowed him to see, so he didn't totally overlook me as a possibility. And some of us need to definitely allow God to shape, mold, and shift us into a position so that we could be seen by the one who's supposed to see you. So he saw me as wife material because he was supposed to see me as wife material. Not all the other people I dated, but specifically him. There's no one else I've dated who has told me, when I saw you, I saw wife material. That was a godly revelation. So I thank God for that every day, because like I said, in my unmolded state, in my rough, dry state, I was a mess, but God allowed him to see beyond that mess to the core of who I had the possibility of being. Okay? I'm up to number 4 now. Prepare yourself to be an asset. Now, what does that mean? It could mean if God told you to write a book so you can create multiple streams of income, write the book. Don't sit there waiting for a man to rescue you because he'll pay all the bills, you'll be able to drive his car, but bring something to the table. Do what you're called to do. If God has already spoken to you about launching a business, an idea, a product, an invention, you need to get busy with that. Stop waiting for the white horse and the ruby slipper or the glass slipper, whatever fairy tales tell us. Stop waiting for that and do your part. And part of doing your part is to start assessing debts. Pray about those things and ask God, show me how to reduce this debt that I have in my life currently, so that when I come together with the one who you've designed for me, I'm not doing two things. I'm not taking my debt and heaping it on any debt he has. I'm not foisting it on him, making him responsible for my debt. And 2, that you are molding and shaping me so that I break those habits that continually create debt. Okay? So you want to eliminate that debt, or at least drastically reduce it. You need to do what you were called to do, so that when you're coming together, the two becoming one, that you are bringing something to the table. A lot of times people say, well, I don't feel like I'm really bringing anything to the table. God has shown us all how to do things. We all have gifts. We all have the ability to create wealth and have provision coming into our lives. It's just a matter of, are you being obedient enough to hear what he's calling you to do, and are you actively taking the steps to start doing that? Or are you still unrenewed in your mind and just believing, oh, the man is supposed to come in and rescue me from everything, rescue me from bills, rescue me from having to worry about how I'm going to pay my rent every month? You don't want to be rescued. You want to be a helpmate. So that means you have things that you need to do, need to understand how to do and know how to do, and be moving in those things. So when he finds you, he knows that not only is he finding a wife, but he's finding a helpmeet, and he's finding an asset to his life. You always want to be an asset to somebody's life. You don't want somebody to say, what in the world was I thinking? You don't want that. Okay? And number 6 is a good one. Get pruned. Now, you might say, what does getting pruned mean? And pretty much getting pruned is just like you would do, like a horticulturist would do. If you have trees, if you have a rose bush, you kind of pinch away the things that don't benefit the tree or the plant, so that what is essential will bloom, will increase, will flourish, and bear more fruit. So pretty much you have to stay in God's face, sit at his feet, and you just have to allow him to strip away the things that you may be claiming as part of you but aren't benefiting you. And when you do that, the gifts in you will come forth, they will flourish, they will bloom, and they will increase. And that's definitely key, especially as you're heading into marriage, okay? Accountability, that's number 6, accountability. Sorry, it's a little hot in here. Accountability. Even if you're single, now when you're married, you definitely should have a couple who's your accountability partner. So you can go to, as the husband, you can go to that married man who's seasoned because he's been married X number of years. Or if you're the wife, you can go to the woman because she's been married to the man X number of years. And sometimes the thing is that they are actually going to be able to, it's kind of like coaching in a way. They show you how to avoid the pitfalls. So just because there's a ditch there, you don't have to fall into a ditch. If you get with a seasoned couple who's married you admire, they can become your accountability partners, and that will help you diffuse situations. Now, I'm talking about married people, but as a single person, if you desire to have a fruitful marriage, a thriving marriage, you can do the same thing. You can definitely glean from a woman who's been married, who knows how to be a wife, and will prepare you for what you are about to walk into. And this is one of the reasons why I'm sharing this series of videos, because there are those who are married and have issues, there are those who are single and have issues or questions, and I'm figuring there are things that I know. I don't know everything, but there are things that I know that I can share. So I definitely want to share. So having somebody that's your accountability, that you can say, well, I met this guy. You come to someone and you can pray, and they can give you guidance and wisdom along with seeking the Lord on how to proceed in those type of situations. Okay? Now, even before I made this video today, I was talking to my husband saying, what are 7 things you can do to prepare for marriage? And he definitely said that one of them should be to read the Plural Thing. So if you haven't read the Plural Thing, Spiritually Preparing for Your Soulmate, you can go to Amazon.com and you should be able to download the e-book version of it. It's a pretty quick read, but it's the kind of read that you're going to want to take notes and highlight things. And even though it's not a paperback book, if you order it through Kindle, you can still do that on Kindle. Okay? So those 7 things, again, to prepare for marriage. First, prayer. Pray for you and your soon coming spouse, husband or wife. 2, break those soul ties. That means get rid of stuff that's tying you, your feelings, your emotions to people that you're no longer with, whether they're photographs, whether it's clothing, whether it's a bed. You have to do what you have to do so that God is seeing, okay, she is tilling the land. She is making it ready for this man that I'm bringing into her life, or he's making his life ready for this woman that I'm bringing into his life. Okay, number 3, create boundaries and stop giving the counterfeits access. You're not starving for attention, and if you are, seek God so he can deliver you in that area of your mind that makes you feel like you're not complete if you don't have someone. Okay? I went through a season where it was like 3 years. God was like, no, you're not going on a movie date. You're not going to dinner and bringing a doggy bag home. You're not doing any of that little crazy stuff. So I had to go through a 3-year season where I was preparing myself and showing God that I was serious about what I said I wanted. Okay? Get pruned. We know that. Snip, snip. If it doesn't benefit the kingdom, if it doesn't edify the Lord, it has to go. Accountability. Get an accountability partner or an accountability couple and also read The Plural Thing. Again, you can order that online, or you can visit my website, lindadominiquegrosvenor.com, or sixfigureyourpassion.com, and you'll find the link to it under books. Okay? Again, I'm Linda Dominique Grosvenor Holland, and you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/LoveBetterInstitute. See you next time. I'm hoping to talk about boundaries, expand more on why we need boundaries. And then also, I want to do a segment about divorce and remarriage. Okay? See you next time. Bye.